Thanks for listening to Your Online Business Mentor. If you've built a course and it isn't selling consistently, or you're tired of launching without lasting momentum, I want you to know this. Your course isn't the problem. It's your delivery model. I put together a free resource called the Course Evolution Guide, which shows you how to evolve what you've already built into a cohort-driven experience that increases engagement, results, and repeatable revenue. It's not about starting over. It's about refining what you have so it finally works for you. Download it for free at launchwithlydia.com/evolution. Welcome back. Today is episode 21 of my 21-day series From Purpose to Impact. So today I want to reflect on a couple of things and tell you a little bit about what prompted me to do a 21-day series. If you are new to the podcast, you may not know that I recently rebranded the podcast to Your Online Business Mentor. Prior to this rebrand, the podcast was called Launch Perspective, and I honestly had gotten completely inconsistent on sharing content here on the podcast. In fact, in 2025, I only published 5 episodes. Not because I didn't care and not because I ran out of ideas, but because I could really feel the shift happening. I could feel a realignment occurring, and the podcast just kind of took a back seat. The workflow honestly wasn't feeling easy, and I decided at the start of 2026 that I wanted to be more consistent here. And the only way I was going to do that is if I got over the feeling that it was hard. I knew that going back to publishing 1 episode a week was not going to feel easy until I stopped treating it like something optional and started treating it like a commitment. So that is when I made the audacious decision to do 21 episodes in 21 days. It forced me to not overthink and to just focus on being consistent. They say that 21 days builds a habit, so I thought, let's test it. So the last 21 days, here's what happened. I will 100% tell you that the skill set changed. I can now brainstorm, outline, record, edit, and publish a podcast episode in about 60 to 75 minutes. What used to feel like a full day or multi-day project now feels like a focused hour of execution. So that alone was worth it. Second, our workflow as a team definitely improved dramatically. I feel like we were honestly like 50% more efficient because it forced us to streamline our process. So the way we've been doing it is I record an episode, I edit the episode, and then when I drop it into Asana with my team, we all work together to get it published and duplicated and repurposed in all the places. But by doing this consistently for 21 days, it totally simplified things because it forced us to remove unnecessary steps. Like what was going to make it the easiest to get it turned into a blog and on Substack? And what about the show notes? And what about the SEO description? And honestly, even if no one had been listening to the podcast these last 21 days, that operational efficiency and clarity would have been a massive win. But here's what did happen. People have 100% been listening. In fact, in January, before this 21-day series, we had our lowest download month ever. Only 134 downloads in 31 days. And I'm not surprised. I mean, I haven't produced a podcast episode before this series in months. And because I've been inconsistent for the last few years, we've only been averaging about 300 downloads a month. Our highest month ever was in the very beginning when we launched the podcast. We launched in May of 2022, and the following month in June, we hit 1,091 downloads. So that was our record for podcast downloads. Let me tell you what happened after having 21 days of episodes in the month of February. We've had over 1,700 downloads, which is pretty amazing because the entire podcast itself is just over 17,000 downloads. That means 1/10 of all of the downloads for our podcast for the last 4 years just took place last month. This wasn't all of a sudden because the podcast algorithm was favoring me. It's because consistency compounds. Just being consistent re-engaged our audience, expanded our reach, and it allowed me to get into that efficient workflow where every episode becomes a blog post on my website and I publish the article on Substack. I'm still waiting to see what the long-term return will be, of course, but I have honestly enjoyed this process and learned so much already. So here's the bigger takeaway that I want to share with all of you. That consistency is what forced efficiency, and it also created momentum. Was it hard to publish a podcast episode 21 days in a row? Yes. Am I glad it's over? Also, yes. Am I glad I did it? Absolutely, because it rebuilt something in me. It reminded me that momentum does not come from waiting for motivation, it comes from deciding. So here's the question I want to ask you. What in your business needs a jumpstart? If you've been wanting to publish more consistently on YouTube, for example, what if you published one video a day for a week? Or if you want to get more consistent in email, what if you focused on an email every day for 10 days? What is it that you could commit to fully? You don't have to do 21 days like I did, but 7 days, 10 days, whatever it is for you, what would be imperfect, but help you create that consistency? Now, technically, the 21 days for this podcast was yesterday, but today is March 2nd, and I thought it would be fun to publish this 21st episode today because today is actually my 6th anniversary. As I look back over the last 6 years, I honestly could pinch myself over what I've been able to achieve. But more than that, the people I've been able to help, the people I have met, and honestly, the income I've been able to generate to support my family. And I want you to know that here I am as a 54-year-old grandmother who dreamt about having a business like this for many years. But I definitely suffered from imposter syndrome, fear of failure, all the things. And I'm so glad I finally jumped in March of 2020. I knew that the Lord was calling me to something more, and I just needed the courage to try. Now I get to run a business I love, one that supports my family, one that allows me to be present and it aligns with my values. That to me is worth more than any dollar I've earned. But there is real money to be made in a digital online business. It's always felt a little strange to me when people say how much money they make, but at the same time, I feel like it validates what's possible. In the last 6 years, I've generated over $1.3 million in revenue with a 70% profit margin. Now, for some, that number sounds big. For others, maybe it doesn't. But that number for us and our family has been life changing. It's allowed us to give our daughter her dream wedding. It's allowed us to homeschool our son. It's allowed us to move to Florida to be near our grandson. And exciting news, we just found out we have a granddaughter coming in August. These are the things that I'm so grateful for. If I had given in to fear and not launched or taken that leap of faith, the last 6 years would not have happened. So if you're in the middle of struggle, I just want to encourage you to keep going. If you've been waiting and overthinking and over planning and over analyzing and not launching, it's time to take action. You're going to learn from each step, you're going to adjust, you're going to refine, but new opportunities emerge as you serve consistently. Thank you so much for listening to this 21-day series. Thank you for sharing the podcast, for leaving your ratings, reviews. It means more than you know. I spend a lot of time inside my membership and my programs working closely with students, but in 2026, I'm committed to showing up consistently. I want to be here to answer your questions because I am so passionate about helping others achieve their goals and dreams through their digital business. So if you're ready to create income that supports your family and a business that allows you to live a purpose-filled life, then I want you to come on the journey with me. Stay connected with us at Launch with Lydia, and I hope to see you in one of our future programs. Remember, clarity and impact come from action.